Hello and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 221. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis, and today's blogcast is about smiling. It doesn't feel particularly like the podcast of the moment, but the moment is changing every 5 seconds. I personally have not been able to tear myself away from Twitter for the last 3 to 4 days. So this feels like, okay, I guess I'll do this one. And in fact, that's how this one got published. I will say more about this at some point, but there was a troll situation, a familiar troll situation from back in the day that was mixed up in Patreon, and oh boy, it was a mess. And it also made me feel very bad. But I was nervous about posting anything that this troll might be interested in. And I just feel pretty confident that she does not care about smiling. So I felt this post might be fairly safe to share. I mean, in general, I'm fairly confident that she doesn't actually read, as many a bully does not, especially in our current government. But yeah, I just thought, in order to be safe, that there's no clicking around or further harassment, I just thought I'm gonna post a thing that she will definitely not care about. I've decided to call her Ethel Hallow from The Worst Witch. There's a television show. I think I wrote about it. Maybe it's a children's show on Netflix about a witch academy, and there's this character who is forever, trying to bring down the main character. And that character's name is Ethel Hallow. So instead of saying my troll's name, I've just decided to call her Ethel Hallow. So I don't think Ethel Hallow would read or click on or get involved in a blog or a podcast about smiling. So that is why this one is happening here today. There were others, then I was like, oh no, she might be interested in that. I better not post it. But those are coming. I have not heard from Ethel Hallow in quite a few days, so I think I'm in the clear. Fingers crossed. Knocking on wood. Yes. So post about smiling. How about that? Whee! And we can all, I don't know, keep smiling as best we can. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna read this post to you. It is called "I Miss the Smiling." I've been going to this little sandwich shop in my neighborhood lately. It's got a garden in back, and it's usually pretty empty, so I can take my mask off and write back there fairly easily. I never went pre-COVID because it had table service, and I didn't really want a sandwich. But since I returned to Queens after almost 2 months away, I've been going a couple of times a week. It's always the same people behind the counter, and sometimes they seem to remember me, and sometimes not. This last time, it was as if I'd never been there before. And it strikes me that with everyone in masks, we are all a lot less recognizable than we used to be. We're all just these eyes over cloth. And if we change the cloth every day, like we should, we look like a different person every day. I'm used to becoming a regular somewhere. Usually it doesn't take long. At the tea shop I used to go to when I first started going there, they recognized me after the first day. When I went in there in mask and hat and sunglasses after 2 months, they still recognized me. But in this new spot, I'm as much a stranger now as I was 5 visits ago. Now, maybe these people just aren't that into recognizing people. But also, I think most new people recognize me by my smile, and no one can see that right now. No one can see anyone smile, or rather, we shouldn't be seeing one another's smiles in person so much. But as much as I miss seeing people's smiles, I also miss being able to flash mine. I feel like I've lost access to my main social tool. This is what I use to win people over, and historically it tends to work. But I can't use it right now, and I find it both illuminating and frustrating. The frustrating part is not being able to interact with people the way I've always done. I cannot charm strangers the way I'm used to charming them, and the illuminating bit is realizing how much of my interaction with people depends on my charming them. I wouldn't have thought so, but it is, in fact, the case. Without this smile, I have to try other things, and that becomes very interesting. Maybe I could move through the world without charming people. It's an interesting challenge. The problem is, though, the charm is a way to feel safe. And without people who smile back at me doing my smiling, I don't know whether I'm in safe territory or hostile. It is a lesson of some kind, I'm sure, though not a pleasant one. Smiling can be loaded for women. We are told to do it all the time, and some of us do it all the time. And it can keep us safe. I'm sure you've run into an image or two about stopping telling women to smile. I mean, listen, I'm smiley as hell, but even I used to get told to smile by random strangers if I happened to not be smiling for a moment. For many women, wearing a mask has meant a break in the tyranny of being told to smile all the time. If you have what's problematically known as resting bitch face, this moment may be a reprieve. It feels more complicated for me. I feel sort of hamstrung by the loss of my smiling superpower. I feel like I've lost the best tool in my arsenal. I recognize that the smiling is a socially constructed skill that helped me get what I want. But I went with that tool because it was the thing that was most likely to get me what I wanted. It would be great if not being able to smile people into my good graces somehow made them more likely to just listen to my ideas. But that is not what's happening. As a woman in my 40s, I am much more likely to be ignored entirely without the smile, and I do not like it. I don't see many people in this new socially distanced world, which is maybe why I seem to need so much more out of my brief interactions with strangers. I didn't realize how much juice I used to get out of getting people to smile back at me, but I miss that juice as much as I miss seeing my friends and hugging. Anyway, the woman who failed to recognize me on my way into that sandwich place wished me a warm and familiar goodbye on my way out that day. So I know developing rapport and recognition is possible. It's just going to take a much longer time without my face in play. Please, my fellow Americans, wear your masks so I can get back to smiling at people again soon. So I wrote this a few weeks ago, so I have, in fact, had several subsequent visits to that sandwich shop. And you'll be pleased to know that I have a steady rapport with that particular woman at the sandwich shop. So that's good. Yeah, she recommended the soup one day, and now we have a conversation about that soup every single time I go there. So, we're good. I'm sailing, smoothly. I feel like I have at least a friendly face in the neighborhood, even if I can't see the actual friendly part of the face. So yeah, and that it has happened in a couple of other new places that I've been going to as well, where you just, even though you can't really see the person, you do start to. It just takes longer. It just takes longer to start recognizing people. But it does happen. It's just long. It's long. Yeah. So there's a lot going on in the world. But there's this song. The song that I went with here is well, the first song I thought of was "Smile" by Lily Allen, and that's what I'm gonna do. I was like, oh yeah, it's such an up tempo, upbeat, it's a happy smile song. It'll be perfect. And I have listened to the song. I do know it, but I somehow just didn't think about what the actual lyrics are. It is not the happy song that it sounds like necessarily. It is in fact a song that is a bit about Schadenfreude. And I feel like this week, a song with some Schadenfreude in it is just what the doctor ordered. So if you would like to join me in imagining smiling about all kinds of things, you are so welcome to do that. I was like, this isn't, the spirit of the song is not exactly the spirit of this post, but it is the spirit of this week. So the two things have merged. There's the smiling of the post and the Schadenfreude of the moment. And what a blend. What a blend. Also, there is some swearing in this song. So if you prefer your songs without swears, don't listen to it. Or you could just skip the first 30 seconds. It happens. It's the second line of the song. So, you could just fast forward if you want. Yeah. And thank you for listening. Thanks for being my listeners. The stats have gone back up. I don't think that means this pandemic is over, but I think that does mean people are probably like going back to work and stuff. So that somehow is a weird metric for good news, but it sort of is. So yay for everybody, I guess. And if you like the podcast, please tell somebody, or share it, or you can be a supporter. Patreon.com/Emily R. Davis is Support Central. There's also Ko-fi and PayPal, and the reviewing and the stars, all of those things that you can do are much appreciated. Meanwhile, I'm going to give you this here. Those links are in the show notes, by the way. And this song is coming to you on ukulele. It is 2 chords. I did not know that. It is. This is a 2-chord song. Bless her is all I have to say. And if you're not familiar with the song, I actually would recommend that you go and listen to it after you listen to mine, of course. Do go on and listen to Lily Allen's, because I feel like one of the principal joys of Lily Allen is her accent, which, I was tempted to do at several moments, but did not. But listening to her sing this in her accent is one of the pleasures of it. So if you have not heard it before, please enjoy. I found the word little was the one that I was most tempted to lean into her accent on, but I did not. I avoided it. So I pat myself now upon the back for not becoming English suddenly in the middle of a song. Anyway, I give to you Lily Allen's Smile. When you first left me, I was wanting more. But you were fucking that girl next door. What'd you do that for? When you first left me, I didn't know what to say. Never been on my own that way. Just sat by myself all day. I was so lost back then, but with a little help from my friends, I found a light in the tunnel at the end. Now you're calling me up on the phone so you can have a little wine and a moan. And it's only because you're feeling alone. At first, when I see you cry, yeah, it makes me smile. Yeah, it makes me smile. At worst, I feel bad for a while, but then I just smile. I go ahead and smile. Whenever you see me, you say that you want me back. But I tell you it don't mean jack. No, it don't mean jack. I couldn't stop laughing. No, I just couldn't help myself. See, you messed up my mental health. I I was quite unwell. I was so lost back then, but with a little help from my friends, I found the light in the tunnel at the end. And now you're calling me up on the phone so you can have a little wine and a moan. And it's only because you're feeling alone. At first, when I see you cry, yeah, it makes me smile. Yeah, it makes me smile. At worst, I feel bad for a while, but then I just smile. I go ahead and smile. La 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 la. At first, when I see you cry, yeah, it makes me smile. Yeah, it makes me smile. At worst, I feel bad for a while, but then I just smile. I go ahead and smile. At first, when I see you cry, yeah, it makes me smile. Yeah, it makes me smile. At worst, I feel bad for a while, but then I just smile. I go ahead and smile.